All right, so where did the inspiration for the ACES program come from?
It's a great question, isn't it? Who wants to lead the way?
I think we'll let Jack go.
From my point of view, we've been working together as a school and two sports providers for a number of years. And I've really felt that we, as a school, have let kids down who are passionate and dedicated towards sports. And what we wanted to do is to try and find a way to allow them to combine the time that they needed to practice and hone their skills around sports with an outstanding education. So I think that was where the inspiration for it was born, was about trying to be flexible, creative around education.
And I think with that as well, it's all of us have had that idea for quite a long time. So I think the fact that the mentality's been the same, and we've been able to then come together and connect in a partnership, has made this much easier to make happen. You know, I know we started this 8 years ago. Jason, you were 8-9 years ago as well, and obviously the school's a very forward-thinking school. So to be able to bring that together, I think has worked very well.
Yeah, I think just creating that balance. So we're allowing athletes to obviously pursue their dream, their goal. If they want to get to a scholarship in the US, maybe another international university, they can turn professional. This now just allows them to really now put the time and dedication, as we know, which is required in high-level elite sports, but at the same time now tick their academic requirements, go ahead, and they can open up the doors into their future of academic.
100%. Yeah, and we're very lucky, and the word that Jason uses, unique, I think is very important actually, because it's not often you get a forward-thinking school like this that's willing to say, right, well actually we can see how this is going to work. We can see that actually it's a bit of a different way of educating a person. It's not just about academics, it's also about all of the skills that are picked up from the sport, and having that combinations work really well. Yeah. So no, it's a very positive.
So ultimately you've got three different layers of the programme. You've got the future ACES, which is our students who are age 11 to 13, who are taking time to learn and develop and hone their skills in sports. There's a flexible programme around that, whereby they leave lessons, or perhaps come early in the morning, they attend competitions, and we're flexible in the way that we allow students to leave school, but there's an agreement that they must catch up on that.
Jump in there as well, Jack. I think that is something again that is done fantastically well in terms of how it shows the joined up thinking. It shows the same mentality. So what we would do is we would actually go and meet the head of the year and talk about the individual and how it's going to work best for that individual, and make sure that those plans are joined up. And I know for me, I don't know how you feel on this, Jason, but that's worked fantastically well for us to be able to have such a strong relationship with the head of years, to be able to then say, actually, this kid's a bit behind in their whatever it might be. So do you know what? No, they don't come out. They have to earn the right to come out and do the extra sport.
Absolutely.
Well, I think it just makes it a little bit more bespoke for the individual. There's so many kids we know have different learning styles. Some people struggle with their academic side. They need a bit more time to revise and study. So I think therefore, with the great communication that we have with you guys, as soon as we have any issues, we're able to come here to the school, flag it up, as you said.
Yeah, there's no cracks in the system
exactly.
at all. And that's again a big thing. I know in the past when we've worked or tried to work these things previously with schools, if you're not on that same wavelength, if you're not on that same mentality, things slip through the net. So that's I think a really important thing to point out for the 11 to 13 year olds. It's worked very well.
And I think that definitely in turn that comes back then to the performance in sports, because obviously when the student feels that there's less pressure on the academics, they feel they're up to speed, they could be obviously preparing for an exam, that pressure is taken off, they can then go ahead, they're more free in their mind, they're freed up now just to go ahead and perform in their given sport. So
definitely.
That works really well.
And that is one of the unwritten things that people don't often see with programs like this. You know, we talk about having this unique balance of sport and academics. Yes, it's one thing to help them in their future, and without question, and keep the opportunities open in future. But secondly, it's actually easier to perform in that moment if you have a more balanced. If you have a more balanced program.
We see in professional sport the whole time, as we've seen, it's well documented what's maybe gone on with the lives of professional sports people. We look at Tiger Woods now in the world of golf. He's more settled in his life. Now he's injury free and he's therefore more balanced. out he goes, and he's now starting to perform again. The same with tennis players as well.
And there's actually many tennis players now that are doing degrees.
Yeah.
You know, and you do, there's only so much time you can train in a day.
Yeah.
You know, you can't train for 12, 13 hours. So what are you doing when you're not training? Well, if you're not doing something productive, your mind actually then goes into just thinking of your sport and overthinking your sport, overanalyzing it, and actually it becomes a little bit too serious probably. So I think it's that's also a second area that's important that our kids are fortunately getting here in the program.
I think as well the kids get a great sense of there's a roadmap that we've now laid out. They can see wherever they come into the ladder, whether it's obviously future ACES, junior ACES or elite ACES, they feel that there's that progression, it's all mapped out in front of them. At those different junctures, we can now help them through understanding, okay, well, what would be the best route for you to decide? They're now, obviously with the help of their parents, because obviously they're a big part of the team, they're able to feel totally assured, okay, well, this is now the right step for me to go ahead.
Yeah.
They can get that future vision and goal into their system, and that will then really motivate them to go forward and push harder.